What's up and welcome back to Talking Nutrition. We are 7 days into 2024 and I can already tell people are kind of like messing around with their goals. It's early, but it's happening. I'm going to ask you a question here. Well, really a few questions. Have you ever tried any of those diets, the strict ones where it's like cut out all sugars, the carbs, or whatever it is, the quick fixes? Have you ever tried any of those unsustainable diets? Have you ever been impatient maybe, knowing that, hey, we kind of had multiple years of bad habits and maybe we've been overweight for a while, which by the way, I'm not judging, like that was me, right? 11 years ago. I was in that exact spot, right? But have you ever felt like impatient because you're not losing a kilo a week or, a pound a week, whatever it is? Have you ever fallen into all or nothing to where, hey, we took a break during Christmas because we want to enjoy, we don't want to worry about nutrition, right? And then jump into January trying to do everything all at once. Protein, right? Drinking more water, going for more walks, hitting the gym, XYZ. You're trying to do everything all at once, right? But then because you couldn't sustain that, because it's too much, realistically speaking, you then got frustrated and you kind of dropped it. Have you ever gone into chasing a goal without strategy, without a real plan, not just for that fat loss, right? And I'm saying fat loss because, let's be honest, like that's the most common goal this time of the year for a lot of people. And I like the periodization too, because hey, between now and spring, it's a perfect time if you want to lose fat. And if you're actually good to go, why not? But should you really jump in? Have you ever tried that in the past where you had a goal and you just went for it without any, knowing what to do, with no exit strategy either? Because I always tell people, like, hey, with those diets, like, no one's telling you how to keep it off. And you're going to need that exit strategy too. And have you ever felt like you needed that motivation to maybe get started, to maybe keep going, whatever it is? Motivation we'll dive into today as well. These questions that I just asked you are based on a lot of common mistakes most people make. And that's today's topic. I want to give you a little bit of a background story, what kind of pushed me to write this, because I'm here to help you, right? And then we'll get into it. So it was in January 2023. So January 1st, 2023, exactly a year ago at the time when I started writing this article. I kind of felt frustrated. I was bummed out and disappointed because as I was doing my yearly planning and reviewing, I realized I didn't reach my goals, which, by the way, I already knew I hadn't reached that because I would have known. In 2022, I set my biggest goals yet, at that time at least, which I didn't reach. So I kind of felt like shit, to be honest with you. January 1st, 2023. I had set that goal and I had broken it down into like monthly goals, but I didn't turn it into an action plan. I didn't really figure out the steps to get to that point. And I was chasing like all these, different things all at once. My focus wasn't in the right place and I failed. It's a shitty feeling. Now, this was not fitness related. It was business and, but, either way, it's frustrating, and I can bet that you've had similar moments. So that's why I wrote this article, because I see a lot of people make the same mistakes. And let me say this too, right? Because this was in January 2023. This year was a lot better, a lot different. I reached out for help, right? I got help from professionals in the space. I became resourceful. I started figuring shit out. I was super input focused. I took massive action and I surpassed my goals last year. So I learned a hard lesson, right? 2022, I had that goal, I didn't reach it. 2023, we surpassed that. And now we're going to work towards bigger goals. And I'm very happy for you to be on this journey with us. But you can imagine that was a way different reflection and planning session, right? I was fucking fired up when I did my review this year. I'm stoked. I'm pumped for 2024, to be honest with you. I really mean that. Now let's go back to you. Whether you call it a New Year's resolution or not, or just a goal, like who cares what it's called, right? It doesn't matter. You see these posts online where it's like, you might as well, start in December or whatever it is. And, it doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. Yeah, true. But if you want to call it that, that is cool. If you don't want to call it that, that is also cool. It's not worth a discussion. You know what I mean? We all have goals. You have a goal, or at least, hey, we tell ourselves we have these big goals that are so incredibly important for us to achieve, but then our actions don't really reflect them a lot of times. So in today's episode, we are going to break down 5 of the most common problems 9 out of 10 people run into, because that's the amount of people who fail their New Year's resolution. I'm going to help you keep your resolution. But I'll repeat that 9 out of 10 people fail, of which 8 out of 10 already fail in February. That's in a couple of weeks from now. Can you imagine? We'll get back to that soon, because I want to help you reach your goals without making those same mistakes. Again, I never really like focusing on the negative. Just how with nutrition, we don't tell our clients like, hey, remove these foods or whatever it is. Like, don't eat any sugar or whatever. Like, no, we add good stuff. We add good stuff so it's more sustainable. And then automatically, sure, we eat fewer processed foods. We're adding, weightlifting sessions and we get more steps in, etc. But it's a different approach there. I don't want you to do your reflection next year and be pissed off or bummed out or sad, whatever it is, because you didn't reach your goal. We've got to do different now. We talked a lot about habits, and especially with the Dry January episode last week, but remember that this is going to take work. And you're going to have to keep going. Don't think that even now, right? We're 7 days into the new year. People are already slowly kind of feeling like, hey, I was super motivated. And guess what? Now it begins to really kind of feel a little overwhelming already. There's a reason, like the actual research says that just about 80% falls off in February. Like, that's insane. So those huge goals that are supposedly so important, right? Are they really that important in that case? Doesn't seem like it, in my opinion. But okay. I guess my main thing here, I want to tell you, like, don't be like most people. Most people fail. So don't do the same shit as what they are doing. Because you may feel super motivated at the start of the year. You get a fresh start, let's be honest. Like, it feels like a fresh start. And motivation is high, and you want to lose fat, you want to build muscle, you want to improve your health. And you tell yourself, like, this time I'm going to make it work. Like, this time it will be different. It can absolutely be different. But only if you also stop trying the same shit. You got to stop trying the same unsustainable diets and quick fixes that's failed you in the past, which you also know, right? Excuse me. If we do the shakes and the fasts and whatever it is, trying that another time, right, might not be worth it. If you cannot figure this out on your own, we'll get back to this later, but if you cannot figure this out on your own, like, it's okay to ask for help, you know what I mean? I'm very passionate about this stuff because I see a lot of people being taken advantage of, which is simply wrong. There's a lot of diets and protocols where it's seen as like a couple week event, but this is like lifestyle change. It's not going to take 4 weeks, So what I'm trying to say is, like, if you want to see a different output, change the input. Like, you got to start trying different things. And if you cannot find what that is, reach out to us, to another coaching company. Like, either way is cool, but ask for help. That's what I did as well, right? That's what I did as well. I was, hey, you know what? I do need help. I still need to learn, I still need to learn. And you know what? I learned a lot over the last year. It's going to be even more this year. And I'm stoked, But be okay asking for help. Because that research is clear. 80% fail in February. And by December, number, I mean, just different studies, it says like 88 or 91%, but like, let's say 90, right? 90% of the people fail. It's a lot of people. 9 out of 10 people fail their New Year's resolution. So don't do what most people do because they fail. You got to do something different. So try to think about that, right? The diets, that's what most people do. The shakes, that's what most people do. Being impatient, etc. So let's break down the 5 common mistakes among New Year's resolutioners. Because I've had a lot of talks with obviously our clients who we talk to every single week and we really connect with, and we want to dive deep into like, hey, what have you tried in the past? I also do our consultation calls, which by the way, if you want to apply for one, the call is absolutely for free. If you want to talk about your goals, you want to learn more about coaching, awesome. There's a link in the description. Check that out. The call is free either way. There's no strings attached. If you want to learn more, awesome. We'll help you decide on your next steps. If you want to work with me, great, or with my team. If not, I'm still going to give you a couple action steps so that you can take action, because I know that this stuff is difficult to figure it out on your own. Because that's what I was trying to do in 2012, and I had a hard time. And also back then, I asked for help from my CrossFit coach at the time, once I finally get into that. But maybe we'll do a different episode on my little story soon. But okay, I want you to know that these 5 common mistakes are not necessarily just like New Year resolution related. It's any health or fitness goal. These mistakes come up all the fucking time. Mistake number 1, the diet is too strict and unsustainable. Mistake number 2, people are impatient and expect to reverse years of bad habits in a matter of weeks. Mistake number 3 is the all or nothing mindset, which doesn't allow for anything but imperfection. Mistake number 4, there's a lack of strategy and long-term planning. And mistake number 5, people over-rely on motivation. So let's break them down so you know exactly what to look out for, what to do, or basically what not to do, because we don't want to be like most other people. You're going to be that 1 out of 10 people who will be successful. Keep that as your mindset this year, right? You're going to be 1 out of 10. So you're going to also have to work harder than 9 out of 10 people. Because whether it's like the carnivore clowns to, and anything from that to the MLM shake people to whatever it is, right? There's so many quick fixes out there. We don't have to break them all down. The juice cleanses and all that. I always wonder, like, is that stuff really effective long term? I don't think so. And all these different diet camps will go to war with each other. You see vegan versus carnivore, right? High fat versus, the high carb crowd, whatever it is. And there's so much. Yesterday I saw a video about people who don't eat, but they just breathe. I don't know how it works. They had these crazy machines. I forgot what it was called. Something like breatharians or something crazy. Like, these people were just not eating. Somehow they got their nutrients in through, like, I don't know, air. I don't know. Too crazy. But that's what I mean. People are just doing like the weirdest shit, and they think they need to do alternate day fasting or like these 36-hour fasts, or 36-hour fasts. 36 days, you probably, that wouldn't be great, but okay. But you get it, right? It's all very extreme. And you know what? The funny part is, like, a lot of those diets and protocols, whatever it is, are very similar. They have a lot in common. They would hate to hear that, but it's true. Because the rules are usually strict but simple. You remove a certain food or certain food group or certain nutrients, whatever it is, like sugars or carbs or whatever. You're usually limited to a very specific range of foods or recipes, even, where you have to be on this meal plan or of superfoods. Probably the worst out there, or one of the worst in my opinion, is the meal replacement shakes and the bars, to where I can't tell you how often I have these calls. Like 9 out of 10 of my clients in Norway, at least, you know what, like almost everyone, but I see this being huge in Norway. Everyone has fucking tried the shakes. Everyone's tried those crazy meal plan, the MLM stuff, and it never works. It never fucking works. And then I'm always curious, right? So what are you taught? Like what did they tell you to do? And all it was like, hey, have these shakes for breakfast, lunch, whatever it was. Okay. And now what? You know? And similar like to through this stuff, it's like the green juices, and I fell victim to that, 10 years or 11 years ago. And again, with the fasting, like there's like specific like eating windows, or, one meal a day, whatever it is. There's just all this like crazy stuff like that obviously gets a lot of views on social media because it's out there. And you think like, oh, I've been struggling with this so long. The basic stuff sounds a little too, right? It can't be the basic stuff, right? So it must be this thing. Oh, it must be the seed cycling. Oh, I must, No. I always wonder, like, what happens when you have like a family dinner coming up, a birthday, or even like an evening with friends, or Christmas, what we just had, the holiday season. Are we just going to avoid all those moments altogether just because you have goals? And are you just supposed to like not be eating carbs forever? Like, of course not. Maybe some, like, sure, hey, there's always exceptions to the rule. Let's be honest. There are people who do great without carbs. I'm not saying it's impossible, but for the vast majority of people, you're going to want to have their carbs, and you can have them. And you know what? You should have your carbs if you are lifting weights, if you are if you are active and you are working towards your goals. Because one of the biggest habits we can create is lifting weights. And when you start lifting weights and start doing a bit of cardio, you're going to need your carbs. Okay. These strict rules can usually lead to super like fast, sometimes even quick results in the short term, but it doesn't really allow for real life, because there will be evenings out, there will be vacations and social settings, and life will always put flexible foods right in front of your nose. The pizzas, the candy, whatever it is, the chocolate, right? You are motivated, but guess what? Your colleague brings, fucking Easter chocolate to the office, and they put it right at the table, right in front of you. Now, it's not to say that sustainable nutrition and flexible, nutrition is like a free-for-all either, because you're going to have to practice moderation here. But it's a different approach I feel like we need. We need a more additive approach instead of restriction. I want you to include the special scenarios and the flexible foods and be proactive in learning how to include that stuff. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. More about that later. But I want you to add more lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, and just eat more whole foods in general. You should be surprised how easy it becomes to create results when you do so. When you actually just focus on, hey, having more good stuff, adding more, hey, instead of sodas, let's drink more water, instead of saying, hey, we're going to cut out all sodas. You'd be surprised how effective this can be. But then again, going back to what I just said, the basics don't really get a lot of attention usually, which is kind of sad. Now, we're not going to be able to like break everything down into like, specific, like, hey, how to build meals and like everything you got to know. But I do have my ebook that I want to share with you. So what I'll do is in the show notes or in the description, I'll link our ebook, the Definitive Fat Loss Nutrition Guide. That is one, like, it's basically everything you got to know. I wrote this for my clients back in 2021, and it's been updated since, but initially that was a client-only resource, and I was like, I got to share this stuff with more people, so I want to give it to you for absolutely no cost. There's no catch either, right? It's just that, like, in an episode like today, we're already like almost 20 minutes in, and we only just covered mistake one, you know what I mean? If we really want to dive deep into how to build meals, fully understanding nutrition, and I mean like everything that you actually need to know. It's not the most technical, like advanced stuff, but we mostly don't need that anyway. Definitely not to create results. So it's in depth, but it's understandable. So if you like that, you can download my ebook for free. I'll drop that in the description, and then we will get into mistake 2. People being impatient. Patience and time, as well as effort, are essential for long-term growth and lifestyle change. We all kind of know that. But when it comes to reaching our goal, we kind of want it to be different. You know what I mean? But you cannot expect to reverse many, many years of bad habits in a matter of weeks. And that might sting a little, but I'm going to use myself as an example here, because I used to be overweight. I used to be more than 110 kilos, out of shape. I was not lifting weights. So those 110 kilos, right, that looked a lot different than if I were to get to that weight now. But I was unhealthy and I also hated it. I wanted to change it as soon as possible. I wanted to, and this is the mistake I made with my fitness pal. You get to choose like how much weight you want to lose, right? And it sets the targets based off that. I put it on like 1+ kilos, whatever it was. And I got frustrated because I didn't lose 1 kilo every single week. Not fully understanding how things work, you know? And again, I explain all of this in the ebook. No, it took years of eating more and more shitty food and smoking and drinking a lot of alcohol and not working out, right, to get to that point. I didn't just gain like 34 kilos in like a month. So how the hell would I expect to lose the 34 kilos in a month? It's unrealistic. It will not happen. And that's maybe unfortunate to hear, but it's not going to be possible. And I'm sharing this with you because I know that you wish you could get the results yesterday. And you know what? Like, you can absolutely get quick results too in the short term. But you got to be patient and you got to give yourself more than just a few weeks to figure this out. Because a lot of people tell me, hey, I've been trying to lose weight for decades. So why the fuck would we then stop, 2 to 4 weeks into the year? You know what I mean? And luckily, our clients are amazing and they work hard and they get to that point. Which is also, by the way, why we do these calls where I have a consultation with someone first, because I'm not just going to let everyone in, you know what I mean? We only take on people who are really fucking serious about reaching their goals, because it will take time, it will take effort. But you cannot give up after just 1 month. Because it's like, isn't it crazy? Like the 80% who already give up, and I think I wrote down 20%. I got to fix it in the blog. But 80% who give up 1 month into the new year. I think that's crazy. And yeah, kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Because apparently those big goals are not that important then. At least our actions don't reflect that. If you have a big goal, a long-term goal in mind, it requires long-term effort. It requires big input. So do whatever it takes that you got to do to train that patience muscle, because you're going to need it. Mistake 3. I kind of want to speed it up a little bit. Mistake 3. There's usually a lack of strategy, lack of planning. Imagine this, right? This is going to sound a little silly, but imagine showing up at the airport with no passport, no luggage. You don't even have a flight booked. All you know is like, hey, I want to go to like whatever exotic destination, right? But there's no preparation. You just show up. It's like, oh, I want to go here. Yeah, okay, cool. So how are we going to get there, right? You got nothing with you. So this is exactly what most people do when it comes to their resolution. It's like, I want to lose weight, or I want to be healthier. Okay, what does that mean, right? There's no exact like plan, no what, how, etc. It's completely neglected. There's no preparing for the journey ahead. Because even before we get started, I want to know, like, hey, where are you currently at? What do we need to do first? Because I want to I want to build that foundation of healthy habits first and figure out what do you maybe struggle with. So we can personalize this whole process to you. Because, I mean, this is also when it comes to, our clients, like when they get started, it takes time. We have those 3 phases we always talk about. Like that first phase is preparation for the road ahead. And then we can start planning, because I want to also make sure that, hey, we have our goals. We break that down into an action plan. But hey, what does life have planned for you? Because let's think about Christmas. We already were moving people to maintenance, which means just eating enough, for your body so that you're not under eating. You're not in a deficit, right? Like now we moved people already like to maintenance before it was Christmas, before December. Because we planned for these kind of things. We were ready. We made sure that they could go in, and we were stepping away from tracking, and we're trying to practice more basic stuff. We keep it flexible, but also without binging for 2 weeks straight, right? Like, no, we plan for this way in advance. We create a simple action plan to execute. And I'm also knowing that, hey, like January 1st, okay, it's go time again. But remember too, like that exit strategy that I mentioned earlier, like what are you going to do after you lose the weight? I'm going to give you a little hint here. It's not going back to what you were doing before this, because the old you has got to go. For the new you to grow, the old one needs to go. The old you. And that's something that we usually also don't want to hear. That we are not going to go back to normal, in quotes, normal, right? We kind of know that. We kind of know that whatever we were doing in the past got us to this place. So let's make sure to not do the same shit as what we were doing before, because that's the stuff that got us here. So I want you to create a 6 to 12 month plan that breaks down that big goal into smaller goals, into weekly, daily actions, including the different seasons of nutrition where you're not trying to lose weight all year round. That's a huge mistake too, which could really be like in this list as well. But people thinking, okay, I'm going to just try to lose weight all year. No, you're not going to. Not if you want to be successful. There's got to be maintenance periods where you fuel, you nourish the body. There's got to be times where you build some muscle, where you give your metabolism a break, let it recover. It's necessary for success. So that exit strategy, right? What happens afterwards, the diet after the diet, your post-season, needs to be planned for. And if you don't know what that's going to mean for you, ask for help. I can help you here if you want to, right? Because this is where guidance and education and accountability comes in. So huge. And I can speak from experience. I mean, that is what we stand for. That's why we do what we do at Odyssey Coaching Systems. That's why myself, as well as the team, like we continue to invest in coaching ourselves. We get mentors ourselves. We continue to get certificates. We do courses, etc. Because we want to continue to get better. But we also need the accountability, the guidance, and input from an objective set of eyes and ears who can just be there and kind of guide you and hold you in check and push you maybe when it's necessary. So what I'll do as well, because I've mentioned this a few times in this podcast so far, I believe, what you can do is go to our website. It's odysseycoachingsystems.co/online nutrition coaching, online-nutrition-coaching. The link is also in the description. But if you want, we do offer free calls. Like I said, it's a free consultation. I first just kind of want to see if we're a good fit. But again, ask for help. Or, right, again, if you don't end up working with us, cool. Hey, either way, we get to connect, talk goals, move you forward. Because I know for a fact how, more likely you're going to be in reaching your goals, like when you get the help. And you can, of course, ask someone else too, right? You can ask a buddy, family member. But let's get back to the questions, the mistakes, I should say. Because I see we're nearing the 30-minute mark. So we'll go over today, but I'm going to try and do my best in this new year to stick to 30 minutes. Mistake number 4 is all or nothing thinking. So many people fall for that stuff still. It either needs to be like all super clean, tiny portions, right? Or you're, in quotes, enjoying the weekend. You're enjoying flexibility because you earned it at the end of the day. You either work out every single day or you don't go at all. There's like nothing in between. It needs to be every day or nothing, even though months before you were barely doing anything. During the week we're strict. Weekend is just no rules. Because again, we deserve that, right? And when it comes to hitting our steps, because everyone's, yelling 10K steps, which by the way is amazing. It's good for you. But if we can't hit the 10K, it's not worth it. So we'll just stop trying altogether. And you still think that you're on or off plan, or that food is healthy or unhealthy. And as you're reading it, it's like you're probably full of motivation. I know that, right? Because we're only just a week into the year. But don't think that everything needs to be super strict and extreme and perfect, in quotes, right? Perfect, for it to be worth your effort. Because here's what usually happens this time of the year. You enjoyed yourself for all of December because you kind of didn't want to worry about food, aka nothing, right? And now this January, you're going to try to do everything all at once, which is all, of course. Walking more protein, working out, reading more, sleeping more, eating clean foods, whatever it is. Guess what will happen in February? What are you going to do when motivation fades? Because it will. It will fade. What are you going to do when you're hit with setbacks? Which will happen. Again, setbacks will happen. Over time, of course, like I'm not saying that, the list of things that you got to work on, the protein, whatever it is, protein steps, the whole thing. Of course, you're going to be able to work on all that stuff down the road, but not all at once. And I think that for the most part, like it's unsustainable too. Like it's impossible to do all those different things every single day because you still have school and work as well, and your normal life. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, this also ties into that. This is not separate from that. But when motivation fades, and when you're hit with setbacks, and you do meet that friction, do you still think that you're going to be able to do all that stuff all at once? Or should we maybe do it one by one? And then eventually just give ourselves the time and figure it out, Like the big stuff needs to be covered first anyway. And remember too that failure will be just part of the journey. And I feel like that all or nothing mindset it doesn't help in any way. It's going to be imperfect, and that's okay. If you want, I think it's always super cringy, but if you want, you can go back to the very first episode of our podcast. I was super nervous, right? I had to do a lot of editing because I, would fuck up a lot. And you know what? I'm still not perfect, and that's okay. But we took action, imperfect action. And I think I used those exact words. So if you want, go to episode 1. It's a little cringy. But still, you just gotta put in the work, show up consistently, and be okay that things are not going to be all or nothing, because all is unsustainable and nothing doesn't get you anywhere closer to your goals. Now let's take 5, motivation. I feel like, this one, you kind of know. The reality is that motivation is finite and unreliable. It's going to show up unannounced when things are already going well, but it's not going to be there for you when you need it the most. Let that sink in for a little bit, right? Because you always tend to think it the opposite way. But motivation only shows up when things are already going well. And it won't be there when you need it the most. It's like that unreliable friend who's kind of like just there, along for the ride. But then, when you actually need them, nowhere to be found. Here's how it works. You got to take action first to create momentum. And then once you're on a roll and you see results from the actions that you put in, then motivation kicks in. So you get that reinforcement again. And now you're like, oh shit, this is working. This is exciting. Okay, cool. Now we're getting somewhere. And of course, motivation can boost you quite a bit. It's kind of like that, what's it called again? In race cars, or at least in the video game, NOS, I think, like the gas, the boost. It's like you can't always keep using that. Like every now and then you get that boost, and then, right? Of course it helps. And especially, I think, with the new year, when you have your new goals and maybe you've never stepped foot in the gym, or maybe you reach out to a coach, which is kind of scary too sometimes. It's like, well, hey, basically what you're saying is like, hey, person who I don't know yet, like I need your help learning how to eat healthy because I don't know that yet currently. It's sometimes very confronting, and that's okay. That's what we understand, of course. This is our job, But that is where motivation can absolutely be helpful. Sure. So rely on, or maybe not rely, sorry. So benefit off the motivation boost that you currently have. But just know that it's going to fade. And that it's okay. Because I want you to know and think like, first of all, it's going to go. But what are you going to do? Even if you feel super motivated right now, I actually want you to think ahead and think, hey, what are you going to do when you're not feeling motivated? Are you just going to stop altogether? You cannot rely on motivation. Think about your future self. Because you have big goals, right? You have these big goals. You want to get this, active, lifestyle, and you want to build muscle, and you want to be lean. You want to get that physique you've always kind of hoped for. Think about the person you need to become, the identity you got to create to get to that stage, and their character traits, right? And really think for yourself. What would they do? Would they really give a shit about motivation? Or do you think they would still take action regardless of how motivated they feel? Because you see, like, even if you're not motivated, you can still take the same actions you would take if you were motivated. That's a reality. And we might not feel like it, but feeling doesn't have to change what we do. Make sense? It's going to feel like more work sometimes. And you're going to have to push yourself more. Which, by the way, again, going back to accountability guidance, this is where that comes in. It can be huge. Because someone can be there for you, give you that kick in the ass, right? That's when you're going to make the difference. When you take action even though you don't feel like it. I can't tell you how many days I go to the gym. This is basically like every leg day, I don't want to go. Especially now that I have like walking lunches in my program. I'm dying, when I do those. So I'm not looking forward to that. But you know what? Like, I have my goals. I got to work for my goals. And going to the gym, doing my leg day every single week, do those movements, even though it fucking hurts. It's got to get done. Motivation or not. Because if I have a goal, I got to do what it takes to reach a goal. So remember, it's going to be that test of character. It's going to be a test to see if you actually have what it takes to keep your resolution. Action comes before motivation. Now let's actually recap real quick the 5 mistakes. In 2024, you want to avoid restrictive diets and find a more sustainable, like additive approach. You want to be patient and allow yourself the time, and of course, right, that it takes. We talked about changing habits, right, last time. It's like you got to give yourself the time. You got to toss the all or nothing mindset out the window. Take imperfect action. And I want you to avoid going in without a plan, having no strategy in place that helps you prepare, execute, and maintain your results. It's going to be the diet before the diet, the actual diet, and then the diet after the diet. And I know everyone's like against the word diet these days, but it's like, hey, that is what it's called, right? It's your pre-season, your in-season, and your post-season. Let's just use those words then. That's how I want to look at this. It's not just this, just jump in like everything all at once and I'm going to chase every goal. I want to run the marathon, build muscle, and also lose fat. Good luck. Now, lastly, and we mentioned this a few times already, but it's okay to ask for help. It doesn't even have to be us, but it's okay to ask for help. If you don't manage to figure things out on your own, then look for guidance. You can get an accountability buddy, a friend, family member. You can look for people in your direct environment who've already reached the goals that you're looking to achieve. That's a quick hack, by the way. The biggest hack is like getting a mentor or coach. But second, like getting someone in your direct environment, a role model maybe, if you want to call it that, who's been there, done that, who's actually reached the goals that you have currently. Talk to them, right? Ask. It's okay to ask. And even if you don't get actual coaching, right? Even just like reach out to coaches. Hit me up on Instagram. Like I said last time, like just shoot me a quick message. I'm not here to sell you shit or whatever. I'm just here to help. And if you want to coach with me and my team, great. And if not, that's also great. It's up to you, right? I know we have the solution, but hey, maybe you can figure it out on your own. Because it is possible. It's just that there's a lot of noise these days, especially when it comes to nutrition. It gets confusing. And most people fall for the same mistakes. So thanks for listening to me ramble again. If you do need help, ask. Hit me up on Instagram. You can talk to me, our other coach, Alexandra. You can look for other people in the space, other coaches. There's a lot of amazing people out there. But try to avoid those mistakes. And if you cannot figure it out, just ask for help. It's okay. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, do me a massive favor. Just as a quick New Year's gift, if you will. Plus, it was my birthday last Tuesday. So, hey, maybe a little bit of a late birthday gift. Go to Spotify, go to Apple, drop me a quick 5-star review. I massively appreciate that. It really helps us grow the show. Of course, we do this for free. I want to help you, right? That's why we show up every single week, twice a week. And that's our goal, right? This year, it's going to be twice a week, every single week. So you better be ready. to take action. I'm going to help you along the way. Sounds good? So go ahead, drop me that quick like. I'm saying like. That's going to be on Instagram. Drop me a quick review, and then we'll talk very soon. Cool? Have a great week.